Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, so this is the Stream of Wisdom Thursday night class. Of course, it's 8:24, so we want to go, straight into it. I know we usually do the announcements, right? Of course, we got the different locations, right? You got the 4 different schools. If you want to actually get connected to those specific locations, Houston, Rochester, Virginia, San Antonio, you can text in the chat, or you can contact us per the DM, right? All right, so you can do that as well too. But and you see the phone number up there it's on the right hand side, right?
Yes.
You can text that phone number. That's Priest Zion Allah's phone number if you want to get connected with the schools in those locations. But it's 8:24, so we want to be able to have a little bit of time for the topic that's coming in, that we're going into. So we want to be able to just use that time, the rest of this time, wisely. So, but good to be back, right? Good to be back. So good that we get to finish this class too. So that's a good thing, because we ended off on a good note with the actual class topic on Tuesday, right? Going over the atrocities of the Americas. Who remembers what we was talking about? Just a little bit. Go ahead, Tara.
We was just talking about, when we stopped, I don't remember exactly right. Oh, we was talking about Zebulon&Asher.
Right.
And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how they get recorded and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, right. That's awesome.
So you just remember talking about Zebulon&Asher and what was. Right. Yeah, I think we went into Zebulon a little bit more in depth than actually going into we went into Asher too. We took some time. We sat there with Asher as well, but I know we was definitely on Zebulon. So yeah, we finishing up the class from Tuesday, right? So we finishing up class for Tuesday. I was just asking everybody what do they remember from the Tuesday class. Remember things, Steve? Oh, okay. The who? All right. So the workers that wasn't getting paid at the canal, So, and if we can though, let's try to speak just a little bit louder, just for the camera, That's everybody, right? We got the mic here, but just so that everybody can be able to hear you clearly online. So we're talking about a little bit about the canal and the workers and the mistreatment of the workers, and the length of time I think it took to get built. I think we spoke about that a little bit. Or no, we spoke about.
Well, you pulled it up, Marcus that had a point on like how many people died, like they wasn't getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
Because they would die off real soon.
Mm-hmm.
So they wouldn't even pay people because they died before they got paid.
Yeah. So people was dying before they actually got paid because of the work environment. The workspace was treacherous. Just for the people, just in the sense of like they was being overworked, and I think some of it was catching diseases and things of that nature. So it was a lot going on with just getting that built, and they didn't care about the lives that was there in stake. Because I know mostly it was a Northern Kingdom area, but you had Benjamin coming over there. It was coming from Costa Rica. People was coming from Costa Rica. People was coming from Haiti. People was coming from China, and people was coming from all these East Indian countries. So people was coming from all over to actually build this canal because there was work, right? It's work. It's like when they find the oil fields, and it's booming at the oil field. They do what? People start coming from different states. Yeah, I'm gonna go over to Texas for a couple months. Do a couple jobs for a couple months, be gone, and they'll be working over there for a couple months just trying to get money in. So yeah, we talked about a couple of these different things, but basically the point, and what we're going over is about the atrocities of the Americas, and America specifically, like what? The Central South Americans, right? The so-called Central South Americans, aka focusing on what? Guatemala to Panama and Colombia to Uruguay, right? Because those are our people as well, but we don't tend to shine light on just what they deal with, what they dealt with, and what they continue to deal with right now. right? And what makes this class an interesting class is the fact that when you look at it beyond just the information that you're going to hear today, but beyond the knowledge, right? You're going to be able to see what? You're going to be able to see, if you take a moment, you slow down, that you're not the only one going through some form of affliction or catching some form of hell or have had a traumatic experience, right? And these people continuously have traumatic experiences because there's some of our people that's still out there in those countries. They still living in the jungle. They still living in the Amazon, right? They still wearing leaves, the leaf out there, or the seeds. However, they do their clothes, the flax seeds, and making clothes out of different things. And they barely got any clothes on, the men and the women. So everybody's going through something. Everybody's got a situation that they're dealing with. So nobody's above the word of God, right? And it being able to help you. So, but just as a recap, let's go to the Genesis 49:1. Just as a recap for everybody, because I know everybody that's might be watching right now may not have been watching that Tuesday, right? So let's get that going. All right, you ready?
Genesis chapter 49, verse 1.
Genesis chapter 49 and verse 1. Go ahead.
And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together.
And this was one of the first scriptures we went over last week. Jacob said to his who?
His son.
And remember, Jacob's name was changed to Israel. So the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. So there's 12 tribes that make up the nation of Israel. And we're going over two of them today, Zebulon and Asher. So he said Jacob called his 12 sons and do what?
And said, gather yourselves together.
He said what?
Gather yourselves together.
So he told his sons, come sit down, come circle up. Come circle up and talk with me. But even now, this pertains to us. Because what he's about to tell them pertains to us, this generation. The generations that were coming along after them. Read.
That I may tell you that which shall befall you.
That what?
That which befall you.
That which shall befall you. So he's talking about future events. He's talking prophetically. And prophetically meaning what? He's foretelling something before it actually happens. Right? So he's speaking prophetically. Read that one more time.
And Jacob called unto his son. And said,
yeah,
gather
probably gotta read just a little bit louder. Just so they can hear you on the mic. They can catch your voice.
And said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
Right. So the Most High is trying to get us to see that there's things that's going to be transpiring all throughout history, but even in the last days, which we are living in right now, right? We're living in the last days, the end of times, as they like to say, right? So as the world likes to say, but the Most High says the last days. And the Most High was preparing us to understand what condition, what areas, right, and what parts of the world we were going to be living in, right? So in letting us know that, what did he let us know about Zebulon? Let's jump to verse 13. Excuse me. Let's jump to verse 13, Genesis chapter 49 and verse 13. Right, so we finishing up the class from Tuesday, right? Just for the brother and sister that walked in. We finished off on a good note last week, right? Yeah, so, and I was asking everybody when y'all wasn't here, what do y'all remember from Tuesday's class? You know, and of course, Tyra was basically referencing about we was talking about Zebulon and Asher, right? But then he also said about what Marcus said, which was about the deaths and the pay wasn't equal, right? No, you said the pay wasn't equal, right? Yeah, Brother Steve said the pay wasn't equal. Tyra talked about the deaths, right? and about what Marcus was saying on that day. And right now we just recapping just for everybody that's here on the Thursday night class that may not have been aware of the Facebook class, right? Just about what we were going into. All right, so let's read that real quick.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 13.
Right.
Zebulon shall dwell at the haven of the sea.
Said Zebulon shall what?
Dwell at the haven of the sea.
And this is Genesis chapter 49 and verse 13. So they're going to be dwelling at the haven of the sea. Who remembers what haven means? Who remembers that? Go ahead, Armand.
Like a safe place.
Right?
Or a safe route.
Right?
Place of refuge.
Right? That's one part. That's one part of the definition. What's the other part? Go ahead, Uriah.
A port, a dock.
A port, a dock.
For boats to export and import.
For boats to export and import, right?
Merchandise.
Merchandise. I like that you said that. But both of y'all are saying it's correct. It's a place for merchandise, a place to dock, place to port, but it's important because it's a place of what? Commerce.
No.
There's a lot of importing and exporting going on. A lot of business going on. So a lot of people are making and losing money. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are making and losing money, but that's all happening there at this haven. And the Most High was precise when he pointed out this haven as a place where Zebulon would be dwelling in the last days. They would be in an area where there's popularly a lot of business going on and a lot of boats passing in and out and porting at the place, right?
Yeah.
But what makes it a safe place, just on what you were saying, Armand, when we was going into it, was looking up these facts. And what makes it safe is that it's a geographical shortcut between oceans, right? So along with it being a port in an area to dock and pass through and cut through, it's a shortcut. It's a shortcut for businesses to import and export and make those deliveries much quicker, right?
Yeah.
And much safer. So this is a quick point over here. It says, key point, right? It connects the Atlantic Ocean via the Caribbean Sea to the Pacific Ocean, slicing across the narrow isthmus of Panama, meaning the Panama Canal, right? Then it says this is the effect of that. This is what they gain from that region. This is what, and mind you, who? Because it's not the Panamanians, the Guatemalans. They ain't profiting from it, right? But the U.S. is. Because think about it, look at that route. The sister just put that picture on the route. The New York City, right? Look at the New York City route. It would be 13,000 miles. If they didn't have that shortcut with the Panama Canal, it would be 13,000 miles that they would have to go around, make a round trip. That's a long trip right there. That's money, because that's what they talk about. The Panama Canal helps them cut short on gas.
Yeah.
It helps them cut short on having to pay their workers, and it cuts short the shipping fee. So it cuts short a lot of different bills that these businesses would have to take care of, right? But then it also brings in commerce for the Guatemalan, for the Panamanian people, that canal. But if we're looking at that picture, it's cutting short the route. And if we're looking at the numbers, 5,200. Let's minus that. Let's subtract that. 13,000 miles subtracted to 5,200 miles. Let's see the math. How many miles it cuts it short? Because that's saving a lot of money, basically. Well, I got it here actually, but let's see what you get on the calculator. Right? Let's see what you get on that calculator. But we see it's cutting short the routes that they're taking, and not even just the U.S., not even just the business between the U.S. and Central South America. It also does it for even these other countries, Europe, China, the Middle East, the African regions. It cuts it short, right? It helps them out with saving their costs. What you got, Uriah?
I got 7,800 miles.
So it cuts it short by 7,000 to 8,000 miles. It makes it so it's that's dope,
Yep.
right? But a lot of traffic is going on. So what we're seeing here is when you look at this biblically, right? I want you to read where you was at again. We can keep that on the screen too, for a little second, Kalaya. But read that scripture again.
You said keep that up?
Yeah.
Okay.
It paints like a visual, just how important the region is.
Done.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 13.
Uh huh.
Zebulon shall dwell at the haven of the sea.
Right. They're gonna be dwelling at the haven of the sea. So I mean, they living around a body of water, right?
Yeah.
But we also know it's a port area. But I want to say this too. Even before the Panama Canal itself was actually built, it was actually in this region, the Maya, because that's where Guatemalans and the Panamanians, they're descendants of the Mayans, and in that different region, obviously the Quiche people, they were already doing import-export business in those areas. And when the conquistadors came around, they seen them with these long, huge canoes that can. This is the report of the conquistador guy, right? He said that I wish I would have pulled it up, would have had it, but he was basically saying about how they would carry these large canoes with maybe about 100-some people, and they would have goods that they would be trading. So this was a popular trade route already anyways. So this area was already being used. So it was a nice area to use because it was that route going around that we see with the New York City going around the 13,000 miles, it was more dangerous. Right? It said it would be like strong winds, right? Strong winds, currents, and icebergs. Right? So it was a lot of dangerous, hazardous situations going on if you was to go around those areas. So what the Most High is showing us is that this place where Zebulon would be dwelling would have great influence when it comes to importing and exporting with businesses and trades. But it also was a safe place for the people to travel. What else you got in there in that scripture? But y'all get that, right?
Done.
All right, I just want to refresh all that information from Tuesday for everybody and just give everybody online from Thursday class. Go ahead.
And he shall dwell, and he shall be for an haven of ships.
And he shall be what?
For an haven of ships.
They say about 12,000 ships a year pass through the Panama Canal. 12,000. That's a lot. That's a lot of ships. That's a lot of business going on. And not only that, right? It says that Panama Canal handles over 270 billion in cargo value annually, right? And the source for that was the canal website.
But then you say, like, you looked it up and it said trillions or something like that.
Yeah, I should have re-looked that up again when I went home after Tuesday, but I didn't go. But it was going into all that information, but I forgot the source for that. Yeah, so I had to look that up again, just recreationally. But we're seeing that it's a lot of influence, a lot of finance, and it's safer, and it's shorter, and so it makes it so three things are going on. Mm-hmm. It makes the trip safer, right? It cuts short the trip, and the bills for the trip, and then it's a place where you can it's cutting short the routes, right? So we're dealing with a lot of problem solving solutions for the world, right? And not only that, it's a strategic military position too.
Yep.
It's a strategic military position. Let me see if I kept this tab on my I was looking at it just now, but I was looking at it just now. Let me see if I kept this tab on my nope. So there was a lot. Mm-hmm.
Ivy said, wow, definitely didn't know this information.
Oh yeah. No, it's definitely good because, right now we're talking about just the actual how influential that area is, but how spot on the Most High was with this prophecy about where and how. This is basically, we said it on Monday. Mm-hmm. I mean on Tuesday. This is a identification key. So this is an ID card.
Yep.
This is how you ID Zebulon, right?
Gone.
And this is one of the most, think about it. Do y'all know any other canals? We know the Erie, right? This is Rochester, so y'all think Rochester got the Erie Canal. Huh? Like this. I know, but worldwide, when you're thinking about it, on a mass level. I know we probably got canals in different areas where you live. But on a mass level, think about it. What's the most famously known canal? The Panama Canal.
Gone.
I mean, they ain't teach us no history in school, but what's the one history of a canal we knew? Panama Canal. Right? That's really what they pushed in our face, but we seeing that it was for a reason. The Most High let that seed rest for a reason, because evidently he knew he was going to lead everybody in this room and everybody that's listening and everybody that knows the truth to the truth with things that he's using that's familiar to us. Right? America shoved it down our throat, the dang Panama Canal. The only reason why I know of the existence of it is because of the American history book. And they'll shove that down because they want you to, only because it's tied to America. Because they gained control over it, because they helped Panama gain its independence. Right? And because I think it was from Guatemala. Right? And y'all could fact check that real quick too. Uriah. Google that.
Yeah, it was something going on a few months ago about Trump trying to get control of it again because
You gotta speak just a little loud, just for because the mic is right here.
Yeah, Trump's trying to
Guatemala, how America acquired their stake in the Panama Canal, because they had control over it for a while, and they ended up using it as a strategic position for war during World War I and World War II. What you just gonna say, Amar?
Yeah, I was saying that Trump's trying to get control of it again because Hammond is letting Russia and China run their ships through that port.
I seen something about that. That was recent, right?
Yeah,
like in the last 3 days.
A few months ago, but it's still going on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's still trying to get that.
He's trying to get full power again.
Yeah, just like how he's trying to rename the Gulf of Mexico to
Mm-hmm.
the Gulf of America.
He already did.
Oh, you already did it?
But they just the lady. I mean, Mexico still just doesn't recognize that, right? Yeah, but he's trying to. Americans probably recognize that. Esau probably recognize that themselves, but the Mexicans not messing with that. But he did. He definitely did that. So he's trying to get everything back the way so-called America had it, right? And to him, so-called great again, right? But was that it on what you were saying?
Kind of.
Okay, let's read that scripture.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 13. Zebulon should dwell at the haven of the sea.
Right.
And he shall be for an haven of ships.
Right. And he's a haven of ships. So he's a haven of ships. So that's where a lot of commerce is going on. Right? A lot of business is going on, as we see. And we was going into it. I'm going to just read these facts about it one more time, right? It says it saves 8,000 to 10,000 miles of travel compared to going around the southern tip of South America, aka the Cape Horn. It says reduces travel time by weeks, significantly cutting fuel and crew costs, made shipping goods between North America, Europe, Asia, and Latin America faster and more profitable. So it's a lot of commerce. It's saving a lot of people money.
That makes so much sense, like why our packages we get here so quick.
Right.
From China or just far, we get here in like a couple days.
Right. And why? And what's crazy is, if it wasn't like that, they'd probably be charging us more.
Yeah.
And that's just off the shipping,
Yeah.
right? Cause China like they stuff cheap, cause they know what type of quality they giving. but we know they would be charging a whole lot more on the shipping fee, and it would have an effect on the inflation of the world. Every part of the world. It would mess up everybody's economy. If the Panama Canal didn't exist, that would affect everybody's economy and money. So they'll be paying the workers, but the money they'll be outputting more money than they'd be getting. So it'll affect business basically. So basically they got a nice strategic position. So what is we seeing with the scripture aspect of this? Because is the Guatemalans living it up? Is the Panamanians living it up? Is the Colombians living it up? None of these people are living it up. They're not seeing this money. The people ain't seeing this money. I mean, think about it. If they have that much money coming into their country, right? you have that, like, because it pays 50, it takes care of their government, about 50 to 60% of it. 50 to 60% of the money that they pay their government and take care of their government, their country with, is coming from that Panama Canal. But they got all those slums. They still living in tikis. You know, in tiki, when I'm saying tiki, like wooden homes.
Nah.
Like the homes is like bottom barrel. It's like sticks. You still got people in the Amazon not knowing about clothes. Think about it. They ain't doing it they ain't living it up. They're not living it up. And there was in the book, it's called the I got it here, right? It's called The Open Veins of Latin America. And he basically went into how the people that control the country are basically the Spaniard descendants.
Yeah.
It's really not even the native people. So the people that's living, I mean, look at that. Look at that. That's a hotel?
Right.
You told me that's a hotel. That look like an abandoned building. That look like somewhere abandoned building in Rochester. And the abandoned building in Rochester, I mean, they got that look like it's about to fall apart, like it's about to break down. But what's the point? Even though we're talking about they got all this wealth coming into their country, so-called, the people ain't touching none of that wealth. Right? And the country, the government, the president, the people there don't even have control over. Whole other countries have power and control over their wealth. What you want to say, Tyra?
That's what I was going to say. Like, who getting the money? Their government or our government?
Our government, every other government tapping in. Yeah. Every other government has control over their land. So they don't even have control over their land. They living in the slums. Bad. But I want to bring that balance, even as we're talking about all the money that's coming in by way of the canal itself, because the people ain't seeing it. The people are struggling. The people are like, I mean, think about it. They hiding under bridges and living under bridges, and they living by rivers, and then driving to the city to get what, pennies out of a dime, or dang near, they ain't even living off the city. They just living off the fish, a house that they made based off cutting off trees, and that's it. I mean, look at that. They still drying they clothes like they in the medieval times. In the 90s, I think they was doing that too, right? In New York, hanging it on a string, and then pushing it down the stream. Yeah, that's the South was doing that. Okay, yeah. Do that when you was a kid too? The string and hanging on the string. Yeah, the clothesline. Yeah. They still living back in the days. Right now, you can order a little. There's it's like $29, and Montezarov has it. It's a thing you can hang on. You can hang, and then it'll dry your clothes, and then it'll dry your clothes and iron it for you. Yeah, but through steam. It's steaming the wrinkles out. Y'all was like, how'd that happen? Right? It's steamed the wrinkles out. And I was like, that's what we got, but our brothers and sisters in Panama don't got nothing like that. At least in the slums. Yeah. Right? And in their slums, it's harder to get out of their slums than it is in the American slums. In the American slums, you got welfare, you got food stamps, you got Section 8, you got all these different programs. Yep. Out there, they ain't got nothing like that. Barely. And if they do, it's because a local that somehow obtain some sort of, little finances. He starts his own program to help the kids, right? No. Or she starts her own program to help the kids based off what she's been able to acquire from just working around the world and building some sort of wealth.
It's usually like those athletes that do that out there, like the soccer players and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, they usually do that.
Tax write-off.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing it for. Tax write-off and then publicity. It's a publicity thing to make themselves look good. Now, there's some that care. There's some that care, so I ain't gonna take it away from the ones that care, but we know the ones that's doing it. Yeah. They doing it out of what? Sheer finance. But what we're seeing here, as we extend just going into the Zebulon being a haven of ships. We're seeing that it's detailed on so many different levels. It's detailed on so the Most High was pinpointing. He was spot on what he was doing when he put his people in these certain regions, right? So he left that as a map. So this Bible is our treasure map to find ourselves and to find our people. So as you wake up, you're supposed to be getting your spirit right so you can help in search of your other brothers and sisters, right? And the brothers in the 60s already did the hard work. You're in Panama, you're in North, Central, South America, right? And scattered abroad. They done discovered all the different areas. We scattered abroad in different parts of the world, in Asia and Europe and different places. They discovered that already. They already did the hard part. So we coming like the sixth man. We the sixth man on the bench coming off, trying to get sixth man of the year in the Lord's eyes, right? So all we doing is doing cleanup work, right? You cut the hair down, you just evening everything out, making it look nice. That's all we're doing, right? And in doing so, it's important that we get this information. We know what's going on with our people there, so we can be understandable when you cross paths with them on a day-to-day basis, so that you can have an understanding of what they might have come from, what they might have dealt with, and then that helps you to relate to them better when you're talking to them, if they speak English, right? If you're able to Google Translate with them, the Most High gonna bring the moment, right? He gonna work it out. But we're seeing what the Most High was spot on with these statements that he was making, right? So let's jump to Asher real quick. So y'all get that on Zebulon, right? Y'all get that information on Zebulon, just dealing with that Panama Canal a little bit. And we're going to talk about that periodically too, because we're even going to talk about just even the conditions the people had to deal with that. So we're going to talk about that periodically. Let's jump to Genesis chapter 49 and verse 20. Just dealing with the Asher. All right, Genesis 49 and verse 20.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 20.
Right?
Out of Asher his bread shall be fat,
Right?
and he shall yield royal dainty.
Right. And in summing that up, right, all together, the bread being fat, the royal dainties, rich. He's gonna be rich in agricultural abundance. So they're gonna have a lot of natural resources for the usage of, you would think, themselves, but for the rest of the world. The rest of the world, again, just like our brothers in Panama and Guatemala and all those places, and dealing with that Panama Canal, the Panamanians ain't enjoying the canal. The U.S. was and is, right? The U.S. was and is enjoying that.
I was going to say, too, I just seen that the Panama Canal is like a big tourist spot, too. People go there just to see it. So they get money off of that. Where people come in, they probably sell tickets just for you to go see the canal.
See, we didn't even think about that. We didn't talk about that the other day on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's people out there taking pictures, and there's lots of people that go over there just to see the canal, you know?
Just to see the canal.
Yep.
I'm gonna see it from the picture. I'm good. Right? But see, I would like to see the people though. That's what I would like to see. But what we're seeing, like, I like what you said, because it's they making money off tourism and the straight up import export. Right? Let's see who has control of the Panama Canal today. Let's Google that. Today. Because it said from I was looking it up, and it said from 1914 to 1999, the U.S. had like a sovereignty over it. They had a sovereignty over the canal. And what's good, this is a good fun fact, just even what we talk about. And we're going to transition to Asher as we going into it, right? It says Panama had a major diplomatic and economic influence. And is despite being a small nation. So they're a small nation, but they had all this major influence. But it was based off the canal. It was based off the fact that they would help people that was dealing in commerce. And we know the nations love what? Their money. The nations love their money. They love the money and the power. So let's look that up. But let's read the scripture one more time. You got that? Oh, you got it? Go ahead.
It says, this is ChatGPT. It says, control of the Panama Canal was fully transferred to Panama on December 31st, 1999.
Oh, okay.
Under the trio's Carter Treaties, signed by President Jimmy Carter and Omar Torrijos
Yeah.
in 1977.
Mm.
Then it says, since then, the Panama Canal Authority has held sole responsibility for its operation, maintenance, modernization, and management.
Okay. So they gave it over to Panama. You know, somewhere behind the scenes. Esau can't let something like that go. You know, somewhere behind the scenes, that's something you gotta do deep research. You know, ChatGPT be going off of a baseline program, so you be having to train ChatGPT. You gotta train them to see to really do some sources and research and
Reliable sources.
yeah.
It also says that it has a lot of Chinese influence. It says while Panama maintains control of the canal, some concerns have been raised regarding the Chinese increasing economic and commercial ties in the region. Then it says the U.S. as the largest user of the canal has expressed concerns about Chinese influence and potential threats to the waterway security.
So yeah, there you go. So it's probably like you know how those when you watch these movies or these TV shows where on the surface these people have the rights, the ownership, but I mean, mind you, their wealth is coming from other countries passing through it. But what makes Panama Canal so wealthy itself, it's like a you know, back in the days, I got a charger, you got a case. Well, so we bargaining.
Yeah.
But the value of the Panama Canal route is risen because of the fact of like the things we're talking about. It's a shortcut. You don't have to pay your people as much. It's safer. You don't have to deal with the icebergs, the strong winds, the rains, and the strong currents. You don't have to deal with that, so you don't have to deal with the liability as much of death happening, right? So its value is up there. But they bringing in the funds that still the Panamanians need. So who has the power?
Person with the money.
Person with the money.
Yeah.
But the Panamanians have the power too.
Yeah.
But evidently, they could just go over that route.
Yeah.
Or they could just do business with Asia, Europe, and Africa and be good. But we know people are what? They're greedy. People are greedy, right? And then people around the world know that Americans are their consumers above all. So they want to bring things over here, right? And mind you, they get money where they're at, but I mean, you know how greedy Americans are. They like to consume things, right? So they know that too. So that's where the value comes in for the Panama Canal,
Right.
you know?
Yeah,
And then it's safer.
Yep.
It kind of sounds like the Chinese is doing what they did in Jamaica, which was buy up a whole bunch of land
Right.
and, you know, building businesses so that the Jamaicans depend on them.
Right.
It sounds like they're doing the same thing in Panama, from what that article said.
Bro, they doing that. Chinese is vicious. They doing that in Panama.
Yeah.
They doing that in Jamaica. They doing that in they doing it in all the Caribbean islands actually. They doing it in Africa. They sliding in every country and gaining the country over, strangling the country, and taking power over the country by way of just straight up merchantry. Merchantry.
That's why the U.S. ain't visiting.
No.
Because they know what they were trying to do.
Yeah, Donald Trump knows.
Yeah, he's trying to take over.
He like, I know what he's doing. I know what Xing Ping Jing doing. Right?
Playing a big game of Monopoly, basically.
Basically,
Yeah.
business war.
Yeah.
Basically, I know there's a technical term for what I just said, but for lack of better terms, business war. Right? And that's what Donald Trump's mentality is, that he's in business. So everything that he's cutting off and putting on is all about what he sees his vision about money.
They get like giving a country a lot of like loans and stuff like that, and they know they ain't gonna let it pay back. You know, that's how they come and take the land and they're like, it's mine now. Y'all owe me money, so it's mine.
Yeah. Yeah. So you see it in the whole world, but you see just how much influence.
Yeah.
Think about the conversations we have, and just about it. There's so many areas to this conversation about just that Panama Canal, and just how the Most High said they would be dwelling there. His people will be right in a place filled with influence over the entire world, because the entire world passes through that Panama Canal, right? So everybody does business through there. And what was you at?
I was at Genesis chapter 49, verse 20.
All right, let's read that.
Count.
Now we're talking about Asher, right?
Count.
Done.
So Colombia to Uruguay, Asher, right? And this specifically is talking about just Colombia right here, these facts, right? But go ahead.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
Out of Asher his bread shall be fat,
Right?
and he shall yield royal dainty.
And he's gonna what?
Yield royal dainty.
So, and I want somebody else to get Deuteronomy 33 and verse 24, because that goes with Asher as well too. But just going over the agricultural aspect of it, it's top three, right? It's top three, and she's gonna put the picture up there too about the you got that one right? It's green, and the words are in Spanish. The words are in Spanish, and it's green. So it says, out of Asher his bread shall be fat. So showing that agricultural, right? They're rich in that, right? So you got flowers, you got sugar cane, you got palm oil, you got cocoa, you got bananas, you got avocados, you got coffee, and that's talking about just the agriculture, and it's talking about those dainties, right? The rich sweetnesses.
Not to mention all the medicine that comes out of those jungles down there.
Oh, right. That's a key point. A lot of the medicine that they say that they don't even want in the U.S.
Exactly.
comes out of those countries, and they turn it into chemicalized pills,
Yeah.
right? So they turn something natural and make it unnatural, right? just like the fragrance, right? If it's spray, you gotta what? You gotta throw it away. Just like the fragrance. But we see here, so these are the resources. So basically they're gonna be rich in natural resources. That's things that you intake for food, drink, and things that you use for fuel, and then jewelry, right? So you got platanos, which is bananas, plantains. You got the emeralds, right, on the right bottom shoulder. You got the cafe, which is the coffee. You got the carbon, which is the coals, the coal, COAL. So they're rich in natural resources. So they're the top three producer of coffee, right? They're leading in flowers, sugarcane, palm oil, cocoas, bananas, and avocados. And then it says, as of 2025, right? Agricultural exports reached agricultural exports reached 6.4 billion, up 37% in just 5 months. So basically, what they getting a lot of money off of they getting billions just off of agriculture, and then they get over 1.5 billion barrels of proven oil reserves. So they're the 13th largest oil producer in the world. So they're top 13. Then they're the top 5 people for exporting coal being COAL. And it's often used to extract oil and gas. It says major pipelines stretch throughout Colombia, especially in La Lonas Basin and the Amazonian regions. And then with just dealing with the emeralds, right? Dealing with the emeralds, they're the #1 world producer for emeralds. Right. So they account for 50 to 90% of the global supply for emeralds. And then when you deal with gold and silver, they mine heavily, and that's pre-Columbian times, way before they was known as Colombians, when they was just Incans and right, and just tribals, right? When it was just tribes, villages, towns, in an Incan, when they were just known as indigenous peoples. So this is way before even America came. I mean, even when we ain't got those history books right now, but you can go into certain history books in America, and the conquistadors will talk about the riches of how our people was living in Central South America, right? So, but that's basically what it's going into, right? But it's showing you just like, again, a map is giving you a treasure map a guideline on how to identify where the tribes are and who they are, right? And there's a number one key scripture that we're going to go to connect these 2 points that we just shared about the tribe, right? Because how do you know the tribes ain't on this? How do you know the tribes are even in Central South America? Well, the Bible gave us a map, right? The Bible gave us a map. And just to share this too, right? Oh no, we got it. So we shared that. I didn't want to spend too much. I just wanted to recap at least on this part for everybody, just dealing with Asher. But we're gonna share this scripture. I didn't do it last class, but let's go to that 2 Ezra 13, 40 to 45. You got to put that in there. 2 Ezra 13, 40 to 45.
2 Ezra chapter 13, verse 40.
You got to put that in there. And this is like just showing you like we're on this side of the world. This scripture shows you we're on this side of the world of the Americas, the western side, the Western Hemisphere, so-called, right? That we're on this side of the world. That the so-called lost 10 tribes of Israel came on this side of the world. But what we're doing here is we're pinpointing where they went, right? And we know this. Did Esau put disclaimer, right? Because there's people that we know Esau didn't be like, okay, you're Zebulon or you're Manasseh. Yeah, all the Manassites, put them on all the boats, all the slave ships that's going to Cuba. Yeah, all the Zebulonites, yeah, put them all on one ship and drop them all in Guatemala, Panama. Yeah, all the Asherites, put them all on one ship, drop them in Colombia and all the way in those areas near between Colombia to Uruguay. We know they ain't do that. But the Most High is showing us where he's dropped a load of the people at. We're not saying every last, because we just talked about it. We just said it earlier. There's some Jamaicans right now that were working on the Panama Canal that they got a long lineage of their family being in Panama. I literally met somebody out here in Rochester who his grandfather, they all worked on his grandfather and I forgot which grandfather though. It was one of the two. They worked on the Panama Canal. And so he knows specifically that his family is Jamaican, but he speaks Spanish and English, of course. But he knows his Jamaican family in Jamaica, and he went and spent some time over there too. But his family played a role in building the Panama Canal. So we're not saying that every last Zebulonite is right there in Guatemala, Panama, but the Most High has given us this map as a way to show where the load of the people are, right? So here's your ID card, in other words, right? So let's read where you at.
2 Ezra chapter 13, verse 40.
2 Ezra chapter 13 and verse 40. Let's read that.
Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea.
So we're talking about the northern kingdom. The northern kingdom consists of Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, Issachar, and half the tribe of Levi, right? So this is when it says the 10 tribes in the scripture, it's talking about them, which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king. Read.
Whom Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led away captive.
Right.
And he carried them over the waters.
And
so came they into another land.
Right. Go ahead. And they in Assyria, right?
Okay.
As captives, as slaves. Go ahead.
But they took this counsel among themselves. That they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
They would what?
Leave the multitude of the heathen.
Right. They was like, man, we gotta go. We gotta get away from the heathen. First of all, we sinning. It don't help we're around the sinners that don't care that they sin. Yeah. They just want to serve other gods. So we trying to appease the wrath of our Father. It don't help. But this is their plan that they're coming up with, thinking that that's gonna work. It's like Jake today. Man, I gotta get out of Alabama because, man, all my family's there. Everything I done did dirt in this neighborhood. I done did dirt here. I just gotta get away to clear my mind. Okay. So I gotta go to California, far away from Alabama. It don't work like that. The pain don't just go away. The stress don't just go away. The anger don't just go away. It don't just go away. You gotta work at it through the scriptures, through the Most High. But nonetheless, they made a plan. They took this counsel among themselves.
Nah.
Go ahead.
And go forth into further country.
Into a what?
Into a further country.
One would try to say that that was just somewhere else in Africa. But further country where?
Where never mankind dwelt.
People have been dwelling on the Eastern Hemisphere before they ever started dwelling on the Western Hemisphere. So that cuts that idea. It said never mankind dwelt. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of years of history of people dwelling over here on the, over in the Eastern Hemisphere. Now, people have been here, but people have never dwelt here. Go ahead.
Verse 42.
Uh-huh.
That they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
That was their intention. But we know what happened. While they was over here, they was doing what? The natives was doing what? The Mayans, the Aztecs, the Incas, the North American Indians, the South American Indians, they was doing what? They was slaughtering each other. Sacrificing their kids on the altar. Right? Piercing that heart out the body and throwing it on an altar to a deity. To a demonic demon god, an idol, a statue that came with demons because you was trying to do demonic activity. Not because the damn idol's alive. Not because the statue's alive. Read.
Verse 43. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river.
They did what?
Entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river.
And we went over this before, right? Recently, right? And the significance of this is that water is treacherous, it's rough waters, right? And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. Read.
For the Most High then showed signs.
This is the significance of that, right? The Most High was showing signs. Read.
For them. And held still the flood.
Because he was holding still the flood. And that area was known for treacherous waters. But that sign that it was okay for them to pass over, the Most High did what? He held still the floods. He held still the rough waters, the rough currents. Go ahead.
Till they were passed over. For through that country, there was a great way to go.
And that's the confirmation that the area that they was leaving to wasn't nowhere short. Right? It wasn't a hip and a skip. It said it took them a what?
For through that country, there was a great way to go.
It was a great way. Go ahead.
Namely, of a year and a half.
A year and a half. It's a long journey to be in the ocean. Because you got kids, you got women, you got children, and then you got to reload and restock on whatever you might be depleting on. So you got to make some stops before you get further out into the water. Right? I mean, think about that. But what is the name of this region that they went to? What's the name of this place that they went to?
In the same region, it's called Arsaret.
Right. And if you go on the JewishEncyclopedia.com and you type up that word Arsaret, it will literally tell you that Columbus used this as a road map to get to America. He used it as a way to get to America. And he identified it with America. And Columbus wasn't the only one. There was other men, like a man named Manasseh ben Israel. He used that. He was studying that passage as a way to search and seek and find where those 10 tribes were living at. So he wasn't the only one that was using this specific scripture to help identify where the 10 tribes were. Because the Most High gave us a map on where they went, how long the journey was, and what manner of the journey was in. Literally. So this is a map on how they got to America. This is a literal map, a verbal map, historical account. And what's key about that, it helps us understand, well, how are we able to pinpoint America and Central South America as a region where we can start using this map that the Father gave us, the Bible? How can we use the Bible and the statements in Genesis 49 as a way to identify it? Well, it's showing us that the 10 tribes, the northern kingdom, went to America. They went to this land called Arsaret, which is identified and has been discovered to be America, where never mankind dwelt. Because everywhere else on earth, people dwelt. Not here. People passed through here. picked things up, right? Found some things, researched some things, but nobody ever lived here. Nobody's ever dwelt here and established a nation here before the Native Americans, right? So-called Native Americans, right? So, but was that it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but let's go to the second point. It'll take us right into the second point. But we see that though, right? Just how that was a roadmap, and the way we're able to identify with Genesis 49 and 20 and Genesis 49 and 13 as ways to trace where the tribes were landed at when they came to the Americas is by way of the prophecy in the scriptures and the what they would be involved in modern day, what their society would be involved in modern day. So the Most High gave us that as a tool. All right. So let's read Deuteronomy 20 and 33, and we'll go to the next point.
Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 24.
Oh, you had the Deuteronomy 30. Oh, okay. My bad, Tara. My bad. I ain't, because you were standing. I didn't. No, you can read that. You can read that real quick. Because that goes with the part about the oil. Yeah, that goes with the part about the oil. So this is a prophecy in Deuteronomy chapter 33 and 24, just even about that oil, right? And Colombia, Asher, they have that rich oil. So, and even in Venezuela, they call it black gold, right? They call the oil black gold. You got it?
Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 24.
Uh-huh.
And of Asher he said, let Asher be blessed with children.
Let Asher be blessed with children, right? Go ahead.
Let him be acceptable to his brethren.
Uh-huh.
And let him dip his foot in oil.
And we expounded on that, right? We know all ain't no Israelites lacking in kids. Some brothers got 10 right now. Some brothers got 7. Shoot, some brothers got 15. I mean, right now and back your great grandfather and grandfather, all of them. Right, your dad, your mom. My grandfather got probably about, I know he in the double digits, but I can't pinpoint right now. Cause I got aunties and uncles that I don't even know, and they all in Haiti.
Yeah. Zion said his granddad got 30 kids.
There you go, 30 kids. So we know we ain't no tribe lacking in that, right? But the Most High is using that as an identification key. But what's a key point in this verse? What's a key point? Read that. Right, got 30 kids. Damn. The scripture.
28.
24.
Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 24. And Asher he said, let Asher be blessed with children. Let him be acceptable to his brethren.
Uh-huh.
And let him dip his foot in oil.
Let him do what?
Dip his foot in oil.
And the key part with that was like what we were saying earlier, when we was talking about the oil and just what they got going on with oil. So they're the 13th largest oil producer, and they get about over 1.5 billion barrels of proven oil reserves, right? And they're the 13th in that, so they're going to be involved heavily in dealing with the oil. But that's a resource that they have over there that the rest of the world loves. And mind you, they're in a strategic spot. They're not too far from Guatemala, so that canal is right there. So that import-export price is reasonable. So it's helpful to the rest of the world and what they desire. But we see that though, right? With just Asher and understanding that just the these two scriptures that go along with them, the dipping in the oil, the bread fat, right? Y'all see that? Okay.
So, can you read that fact one more time about the oil?
Okay. No, you good. It says, basically talking about Colombia, right?
Yeah.
Has over 1.5 billion barrels of proven oil reserves. Right? Has over 1.5 billion barrels of proven oil reserves. And then it's the 13th largest. Mind you, there's so many nations in the world right now, right?
Yeah.
That go under these different names. We know it's only 18, but these different nations that establish themselves as a nation, and they're the 13th largest producer in the world. Right? And then they're the top 5 exporter of coal So they're the top 5 exporter of coal, often used to extract oil and gas. All right. All right. All right. So. All right. Now we got that Deuteronomy 28 and 33.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 33.
Uh huh.
The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
Right. So the Most High is showing us. Think about the value. The value of what Colombia got going on. The value of what Panama had going on with the Panama Canal, and how much the world eats off of that. Still, right now, they eating off what the fruits of your labor. They're eating off the fruit in the death of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Did you get the picture? Did I send you the picture with the graveyard stones? It was let me see. Huh?
Is it all black and white?
Yeah, with like almost this beige type colors around it, with the border. It's tombstones. You should see tombstones. Read that one more time, Tara.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 33.
Uh-huh.
The fruit of thy land
Mhm.
and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
So, your agriculture, the agricultural aspect of your land, the resources of your land, another nation is going to eat that up. So you're not even going to enjoy it. So why is a hotel in Panama underdeveloped and looking like it's about to break down? Well, it's because they don't have none of that. They're not seeing that money. Our people aren't seeing that money. They're not seeing that wealth. But why is it though? Because we are reading Deuteronomy chapter 28, and Deuteronomy chapter 28 tells us the curses that is upon us because we disobey God's laws. So because we disobey God's laws, now we got to serve Satan. And we talking about his physical counterpart and the spiritual demon. Now we have to deal with the punishment that come from Satan, and now we have to do business and deal with the dang demon, his son Esau. Right? Now we have to deal with them. And they're eating up all the resources, all the riches. Think about all the things that the natives had going on. Natural water, right? The water, they had flowing systems, decked out floors. I mean, nobody can even build a pyramid nowadays. Nobody even know how to build a pyramid nowadays, right? And I think they say they found more pyramids in America than they find over there in Egypt, the Central South Americans, than they do in Egypt. So that all of our labor, we're giving our skill, our talent, our God-given talent to them, to the world. Our efforts to the world. So we're slaving for Esau. So all the things we just talked about what the Most High said He would bless them with, and what condition they would be in the last days, you don't get none of that. We don't enjoy none of that. But that sounds similar to what we deal with in America. Benjamin Banneker, he did what? He did the architecture for what? The White House. The clock, right? The lighthouse, right? The lights, blood transfusions, heart transplants, right? I mean, modern day, you got Ben Carson. He did what? He split the heads of twins. He was the first person to do it. A black man.
Big brain surgeon.
Yeah, big brain surgeon. He was the first one to do that. You got the popular ones, Madam C.J. Walker, right? All the things that they were doing in Black Wall Street. So they're eating our labors in America, and they're eating the labors of our brothers and sisters over there in Central South America. And look at what they're doing. They're working them to death. You already put the picture with the tombstones? Dang. It should be on Google though. It should be on Google. And you gotta have that. I'm gonna send it to you. Dang. Yeah, you gotta show you that one. Gotta show you that one, cause they working to death. You can put the picture of the workers for now, but they were working to death. It's literally though. They were working our people to death. It says you're gonna be only. They're gonna eat up your culture. They're gonna eat up the fruit of your land, the fruit of your labors. Read.
And thou shalt be only oppressed.
And you should be what?
Only oppressed.
And you're only gonna feel oppression. You're only gonna feel heartache. And I got this excerpt over here in the class, just dealing with Northern Kingdom. This is what he said. This is from that book I was telling y'all, The Open Veins of Latin America. Right? The Open Veins of Latin America. So this is the English edition, and it'll be page 1819, right? So I got the excerpt from the book, and it says, this is what he said about them eating the fruit of the labor. It says, everything from the discovery until our times has always been transmuted into European or later United States capital. So what he's saying here is that whatever they ever gained, the fruit of their labors, whatever they ever labored for, whatever they labored for, the bananas, the avocados. Think about how hard it is to plant a garden. Get it started, waiting for your crops. The seasons where the crops die for whatever reason's going on, or the worms eat them up, right? The locusts come through, eat them up. All that labor. Then you had the double labor. And then for a conquistador, Edomite, come through and take your stuff. They're taking what you worked for. He's basically saying they don't even see it. They don't even see it. So all that labor, all that sweat. Look at that. The kids got the rocks all on their head. Smoke. While Esau just doing what? Chilling. Got his mustache on, his hat. Right? The other dude, they chilling. They just overseeing. Basically, they just overseeing. It's crazy. But Northern Kingdom, he basically said, our wealth has generated our poverty. That's what he said. Our Northern Kingdom brother said that. He said their wealth, the Panama Canal, has generated their poverty. The bananas, the avocados, the coal, that's the one. That's the one. Has generated their poverty. Let's read that Deuteronomy one more time. And from that part where it says, thou shalt be only oppressed.
And thou shalt be only oppressed.
And
crushed always.
And crushed always. Spiritually, but literally. 6 feet deep. And if you read it, it says Panama Canal's symmetry. Look at all those people that's dead from the Panama Canal. That's our people. Right? You got a couple nations spread abroad in there. But a lot of it is our people. Jamaica, Panamanians, Guatemalans, Costa Ricans. Go ahead.
Yeah, I believe the article said over 30,000 died.
Yeah. You got that chart though, right? The death rate and the article. You can start with the death chart though. Yeah, but we're gonna pull that up. But look at that. They only crushed only. We crushed. Let's go to that Baruch 4 and 6. Crushed only. Baruch chapter 4 and verse 6. Go ahead, get that.
Baruch chapter 4, verse 6. Ye were sold to the nations. Not for your destruction.
Not for your what?
Not for your destruction.
Con. It wasn't for you to be destroyed. It was a butt whooping. Go ahead.
But because ye moved God to wrath.
Because we did what?
Moved God to wrath.
And that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the repercussions of our actions. We're dealing with the repercussions. So all those graves that we're looking at, all those people you see mining, Israelites mining, and the statements that the brother's making in his book, right? And I'm say it again, Open Veins of Latin America. He said, everything from the discovery until our times has been transmuted into European or later United States capital. He's saying that power, right? The resource and the fruits of our labor, all of it's been transferred from the European to the United States, and as such has accumulated in distant centers of power. That means accumulated meaning what? Now it's spread abroad to everybody else. You said it, the Chinese, right? The Chinese and the tourism. They eating that up. Different countries are eating it up. Different businesses are eating it up from Europe. The countries we don't even think about, Denmark. They eating that up. They ain't seeing none of that. The people. Right? And then he goes on to say everything. The soil, its fruits, and its mineral rich depths. The people even. We've seen the people in the grave. It said the people and their capacity to work. That means the work ethic. And the capacity to consume natural resources and human resources. So everything, they don't enjoy none of it. They don't enjoy none of their labor. But that's showing you what? These are God's people because they fall under the curses. Right? And there's other things too. That's why we had these books here. There's other things that prove it, but the Most High is showing us what? That our people, there's no difference between Judah, there's no difference between the northern kingdom. The southern and the northern, we're all going through the same pain. Right? There's no difference between what you're dealing with just in your regular life with struggling with some people struggling with bills right now. Some people struggling with anxiety right now. Some people struggling with frustration right now. Some people dealing with doubt. Some people think they can't deal with it. But look at that death rate. Look at our people dying. Everybody's dealing with pain. Everybody's dealt with pain. Everybody's got some sort of traumatic story. But we're in this situation because we made God upset. So it's our own fault. So we got to fix it. Look at the death rate. So the death rate is going by percentages. So that 408.12, every percent, 1%, 2%, 3%, that's 1,000 people that done died. So over 30,000 some people died from building the canal. Over 30,000 something deaths. And that's our people. And we got, we got some nations in there, but a lot of it is our people. Coming there looking for work, struggling. Think about it, you come in there looking for work. I seen the grave. I wish we was able to get a close up of the grave. The tombstone. One of the tombstones was saying, Jamaica. This person died from Jamaica, 25 years old. Yeah, at the canal, Panama Canal. And think about it. You were saying it earlier, right? We was talking about it on Tuesday. Some of these people didn't even get to see the money. And a lot of them died with no benefits because they were silver method. They was what was it? Silver coin workers. They were silver coin workers. Silver coin workers and gold toll and silver toll. Right? Silver toll, they don't get benefits. They don't get medical benefits or nothing like that. Yeah. Gold toll workers, they got benefits and they got higher pay. And guess who was the gold toll workers? Esau. The nations. But mainly Esau. And we was the who? The silver toll workers. We ain't get no benefits. We ain't get the medical treatment for free or nothing like that. Your family that came with you to Panama, you was making sure you paid for them to live. But the gold toll workers, Esau, they was living free. Their family was living it up in hotels. So there was a lot of struggle and death. And somebody's kid, they sent him over at 25 because he was young and able to work. And they never seen that kid no more. Died. All for what? For another nation. All for Esau, right there. All for that guy right there. All for Esau. All for the Trumps of the world. At that time and this time. Because they still profiting right now. But let's finish that scripture you at right there.
Baruch chapter 4 verse 6.
Uh-huh.
You were sold to the nation.
You were what?
Sold to the nation.
And we're in this condition. Our people in Central South America, Zebulon&Asher is in that condition. Why?
You were sold to the nation.
Uh-huh.
Not for your destruction.
But not just for them to be destroyed. But why?
Because he moved God to wrath.
So what happened in return?
You were delivered unto the enemies.
So you got delivered to your enemies because you moved the Most High with wrath. So you got to think about this. You're like, well, dang, why does this matter? I hear the Panama Canal information. I hear the death toll. Well, shoot, I'm stressed out right now. How that's going to help me? I'm angry right now. How that's going to help me? My bills is backed up right now. How that's gonna help me? It's gonna help you to say, don't doubt. If you're looking at the scriptures, you're looking at the situations that these people in, it's telling you to don't doubt. Because the only reason why you're dealing with anxiety is because you move the Most High with wrath. The only reason you're dealing with multiple personality disorder because you move the Most High with wrath. The only reason why you're worried every day, everything worries you, everything makes you upset, everything makes you sad. Nobody can tell you anything without you getting upset. It's because you're moving God the wrath, because you're doing things the wrong way.
God.
That's why we're in these conditions. But how does this help you? You're not the only one catching hell. The descendants, the people that are now alive, that their grandparents actually didn't die while they was building the Panama Canal. They live on the side of a river in a hut, wearing a shirt that don't even fit them, because they found it out of the garbage. But you in the AC. You got a refrigerator, which they have no experience with. You have an area, you have iPhone. You can FaceTime your mom from dang Idaho. You in Texas, mama in Idaho, you can FaceTime her. These cats are struggling. They should be the wealthy ones right now, so-called. But that's not how the Most High set up the world, right?
Yeah.
Right, in this time of day. Because we're here for wrath and correction.
Yeah, it's crazy to say all that because then they get all of this in the USA, but they have the highest mental health issues. They're a lot more stable with the slums and stuff they at in Panama and all of that.
Yeah,
Stable,
right.
happy to work and working for their family, making sure their family.
And we losing.
You know,
And you losing your mind.
in the case.
Right, in the AC, losing your mind. You in your comfort, you got your memory foam bed, right? And if you can't afford a memory foam, you got that nice memory foam from Walmart, right? Pillow top. You said pillow who?
Pillow top.
Pillow top, right? You got LED lights in your room, right?
Yeah.
You got a stove. Your washing machine is right there downstairs next to you, or probably in your hallway for some people. But they going to the river, the lake, with a bucket. The bucket itself don't even look sanitized. Using soap and water. One of those old little rollers that you see in the slave movies to clean their clothes. On top of rocks. Then you walk in the house, ain't no really no established floor. No floorboards. It's just the concrete, the cement that the contractor laid down. Or dirt. But we complaining like we ain't got it. And they get up, walk miles. That 1 mile that you don't want to do on a treadmill, they walk that mile. And their miles are a real mile. They in a jungle where a jaguar could just pop up. A damn poisonous snake could just pop up. A coyote, a real lion to pop up. Not AI. But we complaining about the life we live in. Bro, we got a tablet. You got a container of water. We got, like, come on, man. We got microphones. Look at that. That ain't no, that's not for a human. Dirt road, cracked up places. They using the damn things for a roof that you use when a hurricane coming up. And the hurricane fly that thing away anyways. Yeah, look at that, the toilet right there. The toilet is right there.
Damn.
Yes. Think about that. We got to think twice before we complain about the fact that you ain't got that spread cheese that you want. You got the money to pay your bills. You got the money to take care of your bills, your rent, put food in the house. Be grateful with that. Because they trying to search and scramble. They trying to search and scramble right now, and they over here. They see a rat on the road, they start cheesing. This is real. Who in here want to eat a rat? I ain't trying to eat no dang rat. Hell no. Even in the world, I wouldn't damn mess with no dang exotic. That's how they label it to make it sound cool. Exotic food. Right? Even in the world, I don't want to mess with no exotic food. Exotic, when I hear that, especially from a nation, that scared me. That scared me in the world. I ain't want to hear exotic. You don't even like me, so what you gonna do with this exotic food and give it to me? You know? Look at that. Look how they living. Dirty ocean water, river water, and she having fun. The hurricane will wipe that out, and has. It's crazy. Y'all see this? So we have no room for complaining. We have no room to say that's the black struggle. This is the black struggle is different from the Latin struggle. It's not the same. Ours is way worse. But our so-called Latin brothers can't say the Latin struggle or the indigenous struggle, the Native American struggle was worse than the so-called Judite struggle, but so-called African American struggle. Nobody was worse than the other, because you got black folks in the country living just like that, without having to live on the water. You got black folks in the country living just like that. You got Jamaicans living just like that. You got Saint people in St. Kitts living just like that, and some people in a tent. So we got no excuses. We can't act like no struggle. We can't act like one struggle was greater than the other. But this is showing us, even in these curses that we're looking at, when we look at Panama, look at Colombia, we look at Venezuela, we look at Peru, we look at all these different places where the Zebulonites and the Asherites are, they're right up under the curses just like us. Go to Jeremiah 50 and 33. Jeremiah 50 and 33. They're right up under the curses just like us. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, read that.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 33.
Uh-huh.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah.
So the northern kingdom, right, a.k.a. Asher, Zebulon, specifically talking about them right now, right? Read.
Were pressed together.
So the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom were oppressed together. Right?
No.
We went through the same struggles. And in that same struggle we went through, the Most High has always been leaving these remnants for us to catch on. That's why he got brothers waking up teaching in the street. That's why he got brothers out there in these different countries teaching the truth. Because it's about getting all of Israel together again. Because the nations, what spirit are they in? Let's read on.
And all that took them.
All that what?
All that took them captive.
Uh-huh.
Held them fast.
Held them what?
Held them fast.
That means they're not letting you go. They held you fast and they what?
They refused to let them go.
And they refuse to let you, even today. The brother's testifying in his book, Open Veins of Latin America. Our wealth has always generated our poverty by nourishing the prosperity of others. So you're a slave for the other people, right? You're a slave for other people. You work hard for other people. You labor for other people. You're making sure the Trump Towers is on point. And you be die hard for it too. That's even in these countries here. When they come over here thinking that they're going to get better. When your grandma moved from, think about when that movement happened from California, right? When they were starting to build the railroads and they was having a lot of jobs, right? And people was coming from the South moving to California. They moved, that was a migration. I think it was the gold rush. Yes. And they was building like railroads and all these different things all in between all of that. And
That was like the 50s or something, right?
yeah, but they were migrating thinking that they were going to come to California and get a better life. They thought they were going to get a better life. Just like our Northern Kingdom brothers thought they were going to come to America and get a better life. They migrating. They finding tooth and nail just to get over here. And I forgot to throw this out there, but the point that we're in, we were afflicted in unity. Right? We were inflicted in unity. But that's showing the connection though in itself. We're going through the same struggle. We all fall in line with those same points that it says in the curses. We all align with it. We all align with those same curses. Right? It says you're not going to eat the fruit of thy land. Think about that. Northern Kingdom experienced that on a mass level. On a mass level. Look at them. Working hard. For nothing. I got paid nothing. Scraps. But we can find a picture just like that, gray and black, with Judites working on a railroad. With Native American Indians, North American Indians working on a railroad. Right? Being in the military and getting scraps and getting mistreated. So we can't get blindsided by your battle. Don't get blindsided by your battle. Don't get blindsided by your trial. Everybody's in a chokehold from America. And the Most High is trying to teach us how to get free from that chokehold by tuning into the wisdom. So even as we're going into Zebulon and Asher and who they are and how we know who they are, we got to remember as we're discovering it, what's the number one key that helps us understand this? We were inflicted in unity. We rebelled against the Most High in unity, so we're afflicted in unity. And that's what the Most High is doing with us. It says, they that oppress them hold them fast and refuse to let them go. Go to Lamentations 5:1. Lamentations 5:1. And just on that oppressed together, I got this point over here. It says, the reality, it says, workers brought in from Jamaica, Colombia, Nicaragua, and Panama died from disease, exhaustion, abuse during the canal project. That's affliction together. And it said no compensation, no rest, and easily replaced. So there was no care for their life. So they didn't care to give them rest. And they barely paid them. And they definitely, after they died, didn't take care of their families.
What was the man's name? Panama Jack or something?
Panama Jack?
Not Panama Jack. It was.
He said something Jack. Something Jack.
It was the white man that went on and tried to bribe people to work for the Panama Canal.
Yeah.
And said that he was working, but he wasn't working. But knowing the conditions was horrible, so they were trying to bribe our people and trick our people into doing the most atrocious work. Right? Read.
Lamentations chapter 5 verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Remember, O Lord,
Right?
what is come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach.
Read that one more time.
Verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Remember, O Lord, what is come upon us.
Uh-huh.
Consider and behold our reproach.
That's what we want the Lord to do. We crying out for that in unity. Right? I mean, think about it. They fighting to come over here. They crying because their family getting separated. We getting separated on the CPS. They getting separated on the ICE level. Same. Because it ain't just Mexicans that they taking. They taking Nicaraguans. They taking Colombians. They taking all of Israel. They taking all the Central South Americans right now and dropping them right back over there. You got to think about that. Read. Because there's a point in here.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
Our what?
Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
But what did the native brothers just say? He said, our wealth has always generated our poverty. But that wealth that's generated us poverty has made somebody else rich. It says, our wealth has generated our poverty by nourishing the prosperity of others. Other people getting wealthy off your prosperity. Don't we complain about the same things? Y'all ain't heard no black man complain about that? Y'all ain't heard no Native American complain about that? We got the worst end of the land. But it's showing through our Asherite brothers, our Zebulonites brothers, they dealing with the same things. Right? Because this book was based off Central and South America. Open Veins of Latin America was based off of Central South America. Go ahead.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
Right. And he said this in his book. And mind you, it says the Open Veins of Latin America. Right? His name is Eduardo Galeno. Right? And it says, they labored without rest for riches they would never touch. Think about that. Our inheritance is turned to strangers. He's saying what the scripture is saying.
God.
They labored without rest for riches they would never touch. You work for the you used to work for the disposable people. What's the technical term?
Garbage.
No, sanitation. You work for the sanitation company. Casella Waste. Right, Casella Waste.
Yep.
Do you see the generational wealth of that family?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying for you.
Oh, nah. No.
Is it?
I think there was like a Italian family that started here at one point in Rochester, and then they shut down their business and went to Vermont, and they expanded in Vermont, and then they started coming back to New York.
So the fruits of your labor is translated to somebody else.
God.
Right. And all that money that you made at Casella's gone.
Right.
Right. Why you ain't got no stake in the company? Because they don't care about you. It ain't about you. We're here for what? For that punishment. We're here for a lesson. We're here because we moved our power, our God, with wrath.
Yep.
And so now, but the brother here is bearing witness to what the scripture's saying the conditions of the Israelites will be in. He said, they labored without rest for riches they would never touch. Read.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
All right, what?
Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
Go ahead.
Our houses to aliens.
Saul?
Our houses to aliens.
Our houses to aliens, strangers. People that are not of God. Other nations. They're not qualified, right? But we improve ourselves to the Lord, so he put them in position to cause us to be what? To provoke us to jealousy with a people that's not a people. So that we can be sparked to chase after righteousness. Read.
We are orphans and fatherless.
We are what?
We are orphans and fatherless.
How many people was orphans when their dad died on that Panama Canal? How many orphans is there when the damn conquistadors came, raped, robbed, and murdered the Mayas, the indigenous Guatemalans, the indigenous Venezuelans, the indigenous Peruvians? You Dominican, your people dealt with that. You Jamaican, your people dealt with that. So-called African Americans and Native Americans here, your people dealt with that. We was inflicted in unity. But even in that shows the connection. Right? And we got a book, right, to just show you directly, hey, these are the people of God. Because some people need history, right? Did you got that picture from this where it shows the Mayan man? Yeah, the statue. Yep. Just want to throw out quick facts, quick historical facts, secular facts, right? Just showing about us being the people. Look at this. This man gonna have the earring, the Shield of David on his earring. The Shield of David, and you can find it in this book too, but I had to find it online because I couldn't find the page of it, the screenshot of it on the book online. This one right here, right? The one on the right. They're gonna pull it up shortly, but read that one more time.
Verse 3. We are orphans.
Who?
We are orphans.
The Colombians.
We are orphans.
The Uruguayans.
We are orphans.
The El Salvadorians.
We are orphans.
The Guatemalans,
We are orphans.
the Panamanians,
We are orphans.
we're orphans. Our forefathers dead. Our forefathers are dead and gone, and we're left scrambling for scraps. We're left scrambling for scraps. You just trying to put the pieces together on how to be a family. You just trying to put the pieces together on how to be a husband, according to the scriptures. Orphans, scrambling. Ain't that Jake dealing with that too? Esau just made a mass amount of people orphans because they lost their family members. They don't know where their family members at, but she put it up there. Just a quick fact. And you can read it on the bottom. It says what? A Maya sculptor identified by Alexander von Wuthenau, right? I don't know how to pronounce that last name, as a depiction of the Jewish Star of David. Are you able to zoom in more on that earring? You able to zoom in more on that earring? If possible. Yeah. Just throwing out some quick historical facts, just showing y'all what. We know for a fact they're God's people. All right, we know for a fact that they're Israelites. But y'all could y'all see that earring? I know online they probably could see it because they right there. They could zoom your phone, zoom your television screen. Well, your television screen should be big, right? But y'all see that, right? Clear as day. The shield of David. And even the guy that was doing the research on it understood that. Alexander von Wuthenau. But not even just that. It's also in this book here called They Came Before Columbus. So if you want to find that picture in an actual book, I got this book here. It's called They Came Before Columbus by Ivan van Sertima. Right? Mind you, this is just reference books. This is reference history. Because some of our people, they play with doubt. They doubt the scriptures. So we bring out these reference books because a lot of our people like to see historical evidence from Esau and the world. Oh, the historian said it because he got a degree in history. Right. They want to see that. So that's why we're showing you these quick facts about history real quick too. But we're seeing here, we've all been orphanized. We've all been orphanized. We've all picked up the bastard tongue English, the bastard tongue Spanish, right? And had to make it into our own. We make it coming up with languages, patois, Haitian Creole, the bastard tongue French, right? We all had to fish for bones. They've done it as well too. North and Central South America, right? I mean, Central and South America. Colombia, Uruguay, Guatemala, Panama, Venezuela, El Salvador, Peru, right? Did I send you that picture of that Peruvian man teaching the truth? Did I send you the picture of that Peruvian man teaching the truth? No?
No.
Okay.
Wrong book.
Wrong, huh?
That's the wrong book.
No, that's the right book. That's the right book. Yeah, that's the right book. Right, they came before Columbus, and just for this is the book right here, right? But read on to Uriah.
We are orphans and fatherless.
Mm-hmm.
Our mothers are as widows.
Our mothers are what?
Our mothers are as widows.
Aren't we all living like that? This is a repercussion of the curses. This is a repercussion of them being stripped from their identity. This is a repercussion of them not knowing who they are, just like blacks, Hispanics, and the so-called Negro. But what is this showing? This is the Most High showing us we're all persistently getting hit with those curses. We've been afflicted in unity, but even in the affliction and the unity shows us we are the people, right? I'm just showing the history part only for the people that don't just subscribe to the scriptures. Right? We know everybody here knows the truth, but the young brother here is new. So this is good information for the young brother, right? So it's saying our mothers as widows, go ahead.
We have drunken our waters for money.
Right.
Our wood is sold unto us.
Right. And what is it showing us? We given what the Most High given us on many levels. The wisdom first, but also the physical, tangible things that he's given us, the resources. We've passed it on to other people for vain things. the scripture in Isaiah 59:2. We don't got to go there, but it says, we have sold ourselves for naught. Not means for nothing. Money, you take it, you pick it up, lit it under fire, it disintegrates. Where's the value in that dollar? Can you just walk in with your empty hand and say, here's my dollar for my candy. Here's that dollar for that chocolate bar I wanted. Can you with your empty hand go, here? With your empty hand, can you go and act like that dollar's still there? It's disintegrated. But we've sold our wisdom, right? We've sold our wisdom for nothing. Because we forsook it. We forsook the wisdom. We've sold everything for nothing. But go ahead.
Verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Our necks are under persecution.
Our necks are what?
Under persecution.
What form of persecution, though? Read.
We labor.
We what?
We labor.
No, Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom, they doing what?
We labor.
The gold rush, you was laboring. That Panama Canal, you was laboring. Who do you think picking those bananas, avocados, oranges, what else was there? The flowers, right? The cocoa. Who's in that coal mine getting those coals? Who do you think is there? Our people. That's who's there. We labor and what?
We labor and have no rest.
But what did it say they died from? No rest.
No rest.
They died from no rest. Jamaicans, Colombians, Nicaraguans, Panamanians. No rest, disease, exhaustion, abuse. So we're constantly under persecution. But we got to look at it like this. The persecution we feel right now is like they putting shrimp, crab, pork, lobster, and everything. But are we forced to eat it right now? Are you chained down to eat it right now? So when you compare the struggle that our people was experiencing in the 1900s, 1950s, 1990s, 1500s, ancient times, are we catching the same level of hell they catching in our present time? So do we have room for complaints? So we could be complaining about having to get up in those early mornings, being up late nights, especially if we're saying that we're trying to rebuild a nation and we're trying to rebuild the people. It's not going to come easy because the enemy don't want you to thrive. They don't want to see to come together. They want us to look at Zebulon and Asher like they're not the people. They want us to look at each other as enemies like they've been able to create. Because our language is different. And I'm going to come to you.
There was a brother that came to Sweet Ambiance today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he wanted the fragrance and the myrrh, whatever. So he was asking me, is the clothes and AAO, they got some nice stuff in there? I'm like, yeah, okay. He was like, yeah, that look like Northern Kingdom clothing right there, man. I'm like, nah, it's
Jake wear that too.
Yeah, it's Israel clothing.
Yeah.
Like, urban wear. So he goes in there and he comes back like just, you know, crying about, man, see, when I went in there and see if I needed help, man. I don't know why Northern Kingdom be like that, man. They just don't like me for some reason, man. And
oh, he personalized it.
yeah, I'm like, bro, that's not. I'm thinking in my head like that's not it, because I didn't want
You're right.
to tell him that because he's not gonna understand. But I did try to give him like, nah, they ain't looking at it like that. It's just what you just said earlier that we gotta look at each other as the same people. We're from the same nation.
Yeah.
But just because we was brought in captivity and we wasn't taught that we're the same people, that's why we got this suspicion of each other.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing this to me. Oh, he did that on purpose. Oh, they're always doing that to our people.
Right.
But we're the same people.
You're right. No different, and we do it to each other. Even when you say you're the same people, right? Even when they say that, we doing it to each other still. Mad, angry, upset at each other. But what we're seeing is what? We labor.
Yep.
We have no rest, and it's because of our own fault. And the Most High is trying to show us that until we start recognizing each other and identifying each other for who we are, we're gonna be. And we thought, if you still in that mind where you think, oh, I'm African American, Puerto Rican. I'm Guatemalan, Panamanian. Or he's that. He's Guatemalan. He's Panamanian. He's indigenous. He's Native American. And we're not coming back into understanding who we are. We're just going to stay in affliction till we start really recognizing that we're all one people. Y'all seeing this?
Nah.
Just, it's even through the atrocities. I want to just touch on this aspect. It's even through the atrocities of what they've been through, mingle with the history of what we know, just like what we just shown with the Shield of David, and just even going and tapping into their culture, and what the conquistadors even said they themselves out of their own mouth, and the people said out of their own mouth that they're of the people of God, right? That they're Israelites. That we can see that these are our people, and we gotta come into one fold, right? So it's even in the affliction that we've been through, it's the same. It's the same level of affliction. Did you finish reading that?
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, you read to verse 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Go to Isaiah 1, chapter 1 and verse 5. But y'all seeing this, right? With the second point. What you supposed to say, Tyra?
And the same curses of Deuteronomy 28, 17, Deuteronomy 28, 65.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same, like, but it's like a different, like, Israelite. You know what I'm saying? This
Right.
is like Judah right here in Deuteronomy, and this is Zebulon. It's crazy. It's like
Right.
the same. I'm looking right at it.
Right. Well, yeah, it's saying the same thing. Well, that curse is for Judah too.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
But I know you the way you separating it for thought. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. But that's the point though, right? That's the whole point of this point, to show that it's the same thing. It's no different. But it's also helping us identify that they are of the tribes. And we're riding this trail of even just what the first point already established with the Panama Canal. We're riding the trail of constantly talking about that and bringing that up, but showing the struggle and what they've been through, and even just what they deal with on a day-to-day basis with their living conditions, and how we deal with those same living conditions. It's no different, but they've separated the history by giving us a damn robotic historical curriculum to where all we can think about is it in a separate way. They strategically took time to find a way to make it so separate with movies and television shows. And then we were saying it the other day, we got to slow down sometimes and see that, and then really examine what you're going through and see that it's not as bad. And if it is bad, understand that everybody's going through it. You can open up this Bible right now and see your forefathers in the past and what they went through. Think about it. You gotta ask yourself like this: is anybody in here experiencing what Job experienced?
Lie.
What Job experienced? Is anybody experiencing that right now? So everybody's kids is alive. Everybody's house is intact. Right?
God.
You still able to go to work and get, you still getting your check. Right?
God.
Y'all still getting that. So nobody here is feeling what Job felt. Right? These guys is funny. But everything's still intact. You well taken care of. The righteous has never been begging for bread. Right? So when you think about that, you got to really balance the scales of what you think about your situation. You got to balance the scales of what you really think you're going through. You got to balance the scales in your brain and say, man, I'm not catching what Job kept. His whole family died. The Most High wiped out his whole family. He was wealthy, like heavily wealthy, generational wealthy. Most High wiped that all out. Then he was getting with bumps and damn pimples and all these types of things all on his face. Then his wife was telling him curse God, and then dipped out wherever she went. Right? Curse God. You should curse God right now. She gave up the ghost. But Job stayed the course. But if we stick the course now and we tap in and lock in with the Most High, the Most High, the Most High will lighten the load of the curses on you. He'll lighten the load of what you're dealing with in your day-to-day life, your relationship. He'll lighten those things up. But we got to just lock into the spirit that the Most High is trying to get us into. But read that, Uriah.
Isaiah chapter 1, verse 5.
Right.
Why should ye be stricken any more?
Go ahead.
Ye will revolt more and more.
It's talking about the rebelliousness of Israel, and we're gonna point out another repercussion of that rebellion. Go ahead.
The whole head is sick.
The whole head is what?
The whole head is sick.
Read on.
And the whole heart faint.
But the whole head of who? The whole head of the nation of Israel is sick. Our people's sick. Everybody's going through the sicknesses. You got colds, you got fevers, but it's different levels of it. But like you said, colds, fevers. Some cats got tumors. Some cats got dang amputated legs. And you can look at that spiritually. Some people can dealing with dang multiple personality disorder. Some person dealing with pride. Somebody dealing with lust. Somebody dealing with sloth. Right? Somebody dealing with egotistic, maniac behavior, logic. Right? Everybody's dealing with something, and the whole head is sick. We can't ignore it, and the whole head is sick because we keep rebelling against the Most High. And Northern Kingdom's no different from that. And this is the repercussion of the action. This is from another source, right? From a news report. It says Financial Times report 2022. This is from 2022, right? Talking about Colombia, a brutal history. So it says the Colombian elite. This is in the report. The Colombian elite, often of European descent. So mind you, they're powering over you. So you so-called in your country, saying you're Colombian, but then you got a European in your country. It says the Colombian elite, often of European descent, have funded paramilitary death squads. Why though? Why? To suppress indigenous, black, and poor communities. Fueled by drug trade, land theft, and foreign interests. And then they displace the very poor who labor for the country's wealth. This was in the Financial Times report, talking about Colombia, a brutal history. But showing us what? Don't we talk about it here? There's a famous report of that we all know. What they do? Black Wall Street blew it up. Another city in Philadelphia. I forgot the name of the family, but it was a house of people living in Philadelphia, and they was almost like their own little community in that house, and I think they blew that up. So it's no different, but it's all fueled by what? Drug trade and foreign interests. They don't want to see us unified. They don't want us to see us on top and doing it the right way. But this is showing us just through the curses that Colombia, Guatemala, Panama, Uruguay, those are our people. Just even through these curses. Go ahead.
Verse 6. From the sole of the foot, even unto the head, there is no soundness in it.
There's no what?
There is no soundness in it.
There's no soundness in our people. And the brother, I'm gonna keep quoting the book, Open Veins of Latin America, right? He says, our nations wave their flags, talking about all of Central South America, but the hand holding them is often not our own. So we're going through this hell. From the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores. What's the sores? What's the wounds? Well, first is of what? It's our mentality. It's our spirit. It's how we deal with each other. It's our lack of love for the Father. It's our lack of unity. It's our anxiousness. It's our thriving. It was brother was saying it the other day at the job site. They almost got a love for evil. Our people almost got a love for evil like the world.
Yeah.
And so we deal with this repercussion where everybody else is taking control of what we have. I mean, black's not a nation.
Right.
Right? Native American's not a nation. Indigenous is not a people. That doesn't tell me your ethnicity. Those are bywords. They associated with you. But this is showing us just what? These are our people, man. Y'all see that?
Huh.
What y'all getting from the second point? I know we kind of touched a couple things. What y'all getting from the second point? This is 10:19. What y'all get? Brothers, sisters? Go ahead.
Like, we fight together, like, well, the government got us fighting against each other,
Mhm.
like, we not brothers and sisters. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, we the same, we all going through the same curses, but they, like, kind of twisted it up, like, they divided Haiti, Dominican Republic, and they right there on the same island, but no, they don't deal with them, don't deal with them.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Ephraim and, like, Judah right here now.
Right.
But they stay in that ghetto, we stay in this ghetto.
Right.
But like,
Mm.
when we come together, we gotta fight. For what reason? We're the same people.
Right.
They just light skin us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I like what you're saying, because, like, when we're looking at the way they're doing that, exactly what you just said, right, about the struggle, making it seem like we're different, making it seem like the Dominicans different from the Haitians, making it seem like the Guatemalans is different from the Panamanians. We're the same. But even in that, you see the curses, because we're battling with each other, even in the midst of the struggle, which was what we always did, Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom, which is why there's a split in the kingdom. Because they battling with each other. Why they battling demons? Why they battling the nations? And it's the same thing today. We're battling demons while we're battling the nations, while we're battling each other. It's a recycle of the same behavior.
Yeah.
But so even in that, it's showing us these are our people. But we got these different, I know we thought, right? 119 U.S. reported migrants to shelter in Panama. Look at that. Same thing. Displacement.
He just saw us confused about who we really are.
Right.
And then they divide and conquer. We don't know who we are. But they tell us who we are. We don't believe them because we don't know.
Right. And I want to share this with y'all. This would be, we're gonna do two scriptures. Well, three scriptures to close it out. Isaiah 26:9.
Drop this.
You could drop that. Just because of the time. Isaiah 26:9.
Isaiah chapter 26, verse 9. With my soul.
Let's let everybody get there. And put the scripture on the screen. This is a good one. This is a good scripture. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter
26:9.
26, verse 9.
Right. So, and y'all can write this. Don't get lost in the fire. Don't get lost in the fire. Affliction is the path back to the Most High. Don't get lost in the fire. Affliction is the path back to the Most High. Don't get lost in the fire. Affliction is the path back to the Most High. Let's read that scripture.
Isaiah chapter 26, verse 9.
With
my soul have I desired thee
but
in the night.
If we want the battle, the fire to lighten up, if we want things to easen up a little bit with what you're going through, if you want the temperature to turn down some, because just like Northern Kingdom, when we're talking about them and the atrocities that they've been through and going through, we're going through, our people, we have to desire the Most High with your soul, day and night, right?
Yeah.
But without the Kid Cudi, right?
Yeah.
Day and night. He said, read.
Yeah, with my spirit
With your
within
what?
me.
With your spirit. So you have to mentally cause yourself to focus consistently. You have to reject the negative thoughts. You have to reject the demon. You have to reject the sorrow of the world, the sadness of the world, so that you can make room for the Spirit of the Most High to come in, to clear your mind, so that you can understand and you can increase in your belief through action and through thought and care. Read.
Yeah, with my spirit within me
Uh-huh.
will I seek thee early.
And you have to seek the Most High early. That's reading, class, asking questions, right? When you're dealing with a battle, the moment that thought hits you, you got to counsel. Especially if you know you struggle with it already, with dealing with that demon. I mean, the strongest man in the world, Christ, he counseled.
Yep.
Right? Why the wise men of the scriptures, they counsel. Paul, he counseled. So how much more us who are just now learning out of that we're in a spiritual battle? Read.
For when thy judgments are in the earth.
So when the affliction is turning up, the correction is happening. When our people, when we seen when we see the world going through what it's going through, our people going through what they go through, the atrocities in the Americas. When those judgments is happening and have happened historically, what comes with it?
The inhabitants of the world.
The what?
The inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness.
We start to, it opens us up to be able to learn righteousness, because then we what? Think about this. If you heard the curses, but none of the nation of Israel was going through that. The Incan nation, the Incan society was still up. If that was still reigning right now, if the Mayan society was still going right now, and we were still wherever our family members were taken from, whether it was from England or the transatlantic slave trade, right, or the sub-Saharan slave trade. Imagine if we were still living it up in those places where we're at. We wouldn't have been able to see the curses. We wouldn't have been able to see them as real history, because we'd be like, man, I'm good. What are you talking about? My family's good, right?
John.
Let's say this. The Arizmis are good. That's my government, right? The Arizmi family is good. They wealthy. We living it up in Haiti. We on a high rise. We live in a high part of the mountain. Where the wealthy people at? In your mind, you'd have been good. But the Most High brings the judgment, the atrocities, first of all, to punish us. But on the back end, when he's ready to bring us back, it's for us to learn righteousness, to be able to see the clear difference between wickedness and righteousness. But it also is a sign that left there for us to be able to see where our people are at, where God's people are, because it says in the scriptures, I think it's in Daniel's or Baruch, but there's no other nation that's experienced what our nation has been through. So wherever the Most High has left us, he's left us a sign for us to be able to identify who we are.
Yeah.
So this sign has been left for Zebulon. This sign has been left for Asher. This sign has been left for all the 12 tribes. But specifically, I know we was talking about Zebulon and Asher today. That sign of that pain and that sorrow, that atrocity, that orphanage lifestyle, that widow lifestyle, right? That fatherless home, motherless homes, living in a damn tent in the middle of the jungle, wearing a leaf to cover your genitals and your body. That's crazy. That was signs the Most High left for us, so that when it's time for us to learn righteousness, he left it in the world for us to see. Read.
Verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Let favor be showed to the wicked.
Let what?
Let
wait,
favor.
are you reading verse 10?
Yeah.
No, that's it. That's it on verse 9. What's the next verse? Micah 7 and 9. But this is what the Most High wants us to do. This is what the Most High wants us to do in this time. Like the brother said, he said, this is a powerful statement right here. Micah chapter 7, verse 9. Let's read that.
Chapter 7, verse 9.
Uh-huh.
I will bear the indignation of the Lord.
What?
Bear the indignation of the Lord.
We got to bear it. You got to bear what you're going through. What's that indignation? That definition. Watch. I'm going to get that definition real quick. Indignation. I got you.
Okay.
Indignation. He said he was going to bring his wrath on us, right?
Okay.
So let's read that scripture. I will bear what?
I will bear indignation of the Lord.
And indignation defines, it says what? The anger. So in other words, he said, I will bear the anger of the Lord, meaning the anger that he has towards us, because it's justified. It's justified, that anger that he has towards us. But what's the point of this scripture? Read on.
Because I have sinned against him.
Because I what?
Sinned against him.
And because we did wrong. We've done evil against the Most High. The Most High is checking us. But the history of how the check happened it's been left so that we can identify who we are. So don't just look at the fire. Don't like the point, right? It says, don't get lost in the fire. Don't get lost in the punishment. Don't get lost in the wake-up call that the Most High is doing. Why? Because affliction is the path back to the Most High. Because I have sinned. You've done wrong. So it's our time to get right. But in him getting us right, he letting us know who we are. Read.
Because he plead my cause.
Until
he plead my cause.
Until he bestows us with mercy, like Jacob. Jacob wrestled with the angel for what? For his blessing. So you got to fight in your life to retain a blessing, to obtain a blessing, to obtain relief. So if you stressed out, what do you got to do? You got to bear the indignation of the Lord until he's ready to do what? Alleviate you. He's alleviating Israel right now by waking us up. That's the wake-up call. That was the sign. When he woke us up to the truth, that was the sign to say, hey, I'm calling you out of darkness. I'm calling you away from sorrow. I'm calling you away from pain. I'm calling you away from sadness. I'm calling you away from processing it the way you used to. But I'm calling you into freedom. And he's calling all the 12 tribes. He's not kicking nobody out. Right? He's too light-skinned. He's too dark-skinned. Right? Only northern tribes, only Spanish-speaking people are the Israelites. Only Negro people are the Israelites. The Most High is not excluding nobody. He's involving everybody. But we got to understand that we have to fight to get that peace of mind until he plead my cause. Read.
And execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light.
To the what?
He will bring me forth to the light.
And that's what he's doing with this class topic. He's bringing brothers and sisters to the light on information of what's going on with our brothers and sisters across the world. Right? But in that information, if you really digested, if you really took in the class today, you're seeing all the things that they went through. And if you compare it with what you're going through, it's not as bad of what they was experiencing in the 1950s. It's not as bad as what they was experiencing in the 1800s. It's not as bad as what they was experiencing during the Roman persecution in 70 AD. Right? It's not as bad. Is anybody being starved? Like, are we being like chained up to where we can't go nowhere and we starving? And they starving you out? They doing a forced famine to where you can't leave, and if you try to leave, they just gonna slice you up, kill you, or take you as a slave? Well, our people during the Roman time, they had that. To where they ended up eating their kids. Literally, yes. Because they got surrounded by their enemies, and the enemies wouldn't let them out. But they didn't want to face death. And they ain't had no food. They ran out of food, and they ate their kids. But this is the Most High showing us mercy now, where he's giving us a space to learn and walk around in fringes. They couldn't do that during the Greek captivity. But the Most High is allowing us to do that now. We ain't living like that. Who's living like that? Which one of the brothers and sisters right now is living like that? Who? Look at that. Sticks. We threw some sticks away for the trash today. They're using sticks for the house.
Damn, look at that.
The dog damn slumped over. But we gotta see what they're going through. And they, in the Amazonian River, they got this thing where they eat maggots. They eat it's this huge little white maggot thing with a black face.
Yeah.
And they eat it and they fry it and they cook it like it's a delicacy, like it's food. Huh?
So they fry it up.
They fry it up and eat it like it's good. Who's doing that? When you see maggots, you jump. We jumping when we see maggots, but so just think about the battleground you're on. You can go to work, you can pay your bills, you can have fun with your kids, and go to the park or to a water park or wherever. So the battlefield ain't as bad as what it was back then. Right? You can walk in certain neighborhoods and not have a problem. Obviously we know Esau side-eyeing us. All right? We know they side-eyeing us, but they ain't doing it how they was doing us in the 1960s and 70s. Now, if you out the spirit and you ain't agreeing with your adversary quickly, like what the Most High say, you got something cooking, right? Like all the brothers, the Eric Garners and all of them of the world, They go to maggots right there. That's nasty.
Oh wow.
That's what they literally eat. And they eat it like it's good.
They like crabs, like
And they season it. Huh?
they like crabs, calicos.
Like, no, they're not caterpillars.
No, I'm saying like the little lava.
Like a larva. They're like a larva. Yeah. Yeah, those are larvas. They somewhere in that. They eat them a lot in the Amazon. Yeah, they find them, pack them up in a bag. They go hunting in the Amazon. I was watching those stuff for a while, where they was packing them up. You know, they snorting. They doing all types of stuff in that Amazon. They doing what we doing right now, the drugs, and all the drinking, all that stuff. They doing all that right now in the Amazon, but with what they got, literally with sticks and the natural resources. Because mind you, they in the Amazon, so they next to the guava plant or the not the guava plant.
Cocoa.
No, the what's the drink?
Maggots.
The agave.
Oh,
They next to all that stuff. So you think they don't know how to make their little alcohol? They know how to. So, but the Most High is gonna be the one that's gonna plead our cause. Let's finish that. Yeah, look at him. Look at Esau doing it for fun. It's crazy. That's crazy.
God.
Well, go ahead.
And he will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness.
And I shall what?
Behold his righteousness.
And that's what we're fighting for. So that when you fight and you hold on and you don't give in to the demons, you don't give in to the misinformation that's all out there trying to confuse brothers and sisters. Right? And we stick to the simplicity in Christ that the Most High has given us. 12 tribes chart to help us identify our people, who they are, where they are. Right? The Most High will alleviate your spirit when you fight. So, you know, I want to do this third scripture, but it's time. It's time. It's 10:35, so it's time. But y'all get that though, right?
Gone.
Y'all seen over. I mean, we didn't even go to the. Dang. Hold on. Oh, Celestion? He said, look at Esau doing it for fun. LOL. Yeah, he's a nasty dog. Man, just for the closeout with this, just with the history aspect, do the page 364. We're gonna go all the way to the bottom, where it says Francisco told.
Let me read it.
I can read it. I'm right here. Just to close it out, just on a historical aspect. I know we was talking. We brought the first point done. That was nice. That was a transition. That was a transition or something. Oh, okay. It looked cool when I looked at it. But I just wanted to share this one right here, just so you can at least add a little bit, have two reference points of history. So when somebody look back at this class, they can at least have that. They can at least have that. Got it? Yeah, they gonna bring it up though. But y'all see that though, right? Y'all see that? It's a good topic because I mean you could touch it in so many different ways. You know, you can touch it just from talking about not getting lost in your battle. Look at the what they're going through, because I don't think people, brothers and sisters, just be knowing on a regular, even just knowing that those are our people, what they actually go through, what they experience on a day-to-day basis. So this familiarizes it for you that we're going through the same things. You know what I mean? Now they're in a different condition. That's the difference. They're in the jungle. You know, not all of them is in the jungle. Some of them is in Mexico City. Some of them is in the Panama cities, and they in the different cities, and they just in the slums of the cities that they're in. But there's still a lot of them in that Amazonian jungle too, you know, or in small villages close to the city, not too far, you know, and they just living the way that they're living. Right. So, and what we see here is, you know what, you can read it. You can read it. So I can just expound as you go ahead. You can read from the green, but
Okay.
Now I'm gonna just give the context. So the context was basically Francisco is an Indian guy. Montesinos is a Jewish man from Amsterdam, and he's coming here to research because he heard about them. He heard about the descendants of the 12 tribes being in America, right? And he wanted to discover that for himself, and he came to that conclusion. And this book is called what?
This book is called The Lost Tribes and Promised Lands.
And you're on page what?
Page 364.
And so you're on page 364, and you're gonna read where it says, read from the top, read from the green point, waving. Yeah.
It reads, waving a banner high in the air.
Right.
The Indian guide soon was greeted by a puff of smoke far beyond the other bank of the river. In response to his signal, the two men waited. Eventually, a canoe appeared.
So this was a form of communication to say, hey, I'm here, right? So that they could tell what type of communication was going on based off the type of smoke that was going on, right? That was one form of communication. So then now two men come and greet them. Read.
Bearing 3 men and a woman.
So eventually a canoe appeared bearing 3 men and a woman. Go ahead.
All of them Indians.
So all of them so-called Indians. But read on.
To the place where Francisco and Montesinos were standing.
So they caught these people's attention with the smoke, and they came and meet them. Read.
At the water's edge. The woman got off and spoke to Francisco in an Indian tongue that Montesinos could not understand.
Because Montesinos was this Jewish guy coming from Amsterdam, wanting to know what was going on, and Francisco is the Indian guy, so he's familiar. This is his people, right? Go ahead.
Although he could perceive that he was being identified in the conversation.
So, right? Go ahead.
She then turned to her male companions to explain the situation.
So they're having a conversation about what's this guy here, what is he doing here, what's his purpose for coming to this land, what does he want with us, what does he want with you. Read.
Upon hearing her words, they rose, went over to Montesinos.
So she told them what's going on, and then so now after she told him what's going on, he's like, okay, well, let's go to him. They walked to him. Read.
And to his utter astonishment.
So he was shocked by what he heard. Because what he heard was what most people in America would think they wouldn't hear from an Indian, because a so-called Indian, because they wouldn't think that they're what? The Hebrews. They wouldn't think that they're the people of God. But he's coming to do the research to see if it is true. And to his discovery, he see it to be true. So now it's his utter astonishment. He's shocked. Read.
Said, Shema.
Shemai.
Shemai.
Yisrael. Adonai.
Elohim. Adonai. And who?
So we know that's Yiddish style of Hebrew, so they wrote that in their way. But we know, we say what? Shemai Yasharallah, Yahweh Alahayana, Yahweh Achad. Which is, so this so-called Native American, mind you, the location, the reason why I brought this book out, because the location there, they're in Quito, Ecuador. Right? So that's that Central South America region. And it goes with the topic. So I just wanted to drop a historical point to go with all the scriptures and the things that we were talking about that they experienced. Because we want to show that what? Every other nation, just because they there's Esau in the slums right now. There's East Indians in the slum right now. But how do we know that the pain that they experience, as it is the same to the so-called Judites, right? And the Judites the same to theirs. How do we know that they're the same people, and how do we know that these are the people of God? Well, let's look at what they spoke. They spoke Hebrew just now to this so-called Jewish man, right? Literally, direct Hebrew. They literally quoted a verse out of the Bible that if you look it up in the Bible right now, you will find it in Deuteronomy chapter what?
6 and
4. Yes, sir. In Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 4. Right? And what is he going to recite? Go ahead.
Hear Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. They had cited in Hebrew the fundamental credo in Judaism.
Right. And so they had cited a fundamental credo in Judaism. Y'all see that? So, but that's in Quito, Ecuador. That's in Central South America. So we had the one dude with the shield of David on his ear. Then you got this brother over here in Quito, Ecuador, speaking in the Hebrew tongue. But then jump to jump to the yellow line where it say they told him.
Okay. They told him that they were themselves of the tribe of Reuben, and that the tribe of Joseph lived on an island nearby.
And we know the tribe of Reuben is what? The Seminole Indians, right? What's the Seminole Indians known for? Being migrative. They moving around everywhere, right? So they moving around everywhere. But we know that majority of what is in that landmass that the Most High showed us is Zebulon. But Reuben is always moving around. And then he told you that Joseph, the tribe of Joseph, is where?
Lived on an island nearby.
So this is there's a woman, 2 men,
2 other men,
and 2 other men. So there's a woman, 2 men, and 2 other men. So about 5 people came and met them, and then you got the 2 people themselves. So there's 7 people having a real conversation. So this is a first-hand account, right? And people were trying to say that this guy was lying, but he said he swore on his deathbed when he was even about to die that no, I had this conversation with them, and they said these exact words. So this wasn't just a flimsy moment. This was a real historical moment. So, but I just wanted to throw that in there so that when somebody goes back, let's say they watch it, or you're trying to send somebody to class, they got 2, at least reference points from history to be able to search up, right? So,
this
but
is 1600s. That's what I'm reading from here.
Yes, it's in 16. That happened in 1644.
1644.
Yeah. So you met him in 1644 in Quito, Ecuador.
That's crazy.
Right. Yeah, and he was in prison thinking about this. And he ran out when he got out of prison. He went and met up with this Indian, and this Indian took him to other so-called Indians, which we know are Israelites, right? So, but that's the class. That's the class. Y'all got that, right? So, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, ain't nothing online, right? Mr. Sean just cracking up a storm. Sean just cracking up. All right, but that's class though. With that, we're gonna say shalom.
Shalom.